on YouTube, and welcome to the 7th part tutorial of how to model a studio microphone. Now, as I was promised, I will continue this tutorial, but I was looking at the last week for an answer for how to create a real mesh grill for this microphone, just so this microphone will look a little bit more reliable, So this is basically the result of this. Okay, so we have here a grill mesh of of a studio microphone. Also, it's a little bit heavy for this scene because there is huge amount of pulleys in this complex structure, so it's a little bit hard for me here to maneuver and show you this, but we will just start and see how we can model this. By the way, I created a tutorial simply about how to create a grill mesh in a sphere kind of shape, but it will be a little bit different than that tutorial, because here we basically point to some particular shape and not a sphere, so we will have to do this in a different way. So the first thing to do is to suggest you to watch this mesh grill tutorial of the sphere microphone. Okay, it's just how to create the grill mesh. Okay, nothing more. You won't learn how to create a regular microphone, but it's a good practice in order to know what's going on here. And then if you're good listener and you follow step by step, then it's okay, you can continue from this tutorial. So this is pretty much it for the introduction, and let's begin with this. I will start off by using my oldest files saved, which is this microphone 5. Basically it's the same microphone we learned how to model, and I just want to know a little bit more about this size of this microphone top area, this cube here. Okay, so I will switch in to this view here. Okay, so I can count what's the the size of it. So each unit here is 1 centimeters, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a byte or something. Okay, 7 centimeters, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the width. Okay, so 7 on the 4, and we can go over and open new scene. Sorry. We will do this without the rest of this model here, and we will start off by new scene. And the first thing I want you to do is to go over display grid, click on this grid option, and make sure you type in these values right now. Okay, now these values just a little bit different from the sphere mesh grill tutorial, because here we need to use a little bit more coverage for this grill mesh. So I'm basically relying on a little bit more units on my grid, so therefore I know that it fits my needs. Okay, so these are the values: 40 length and width, grid line every 4 units, subdivision 5. Make sure you apply those changes. Okay, therefore you will have this grid, and it will look a little bit more crowded like this, bigger. Okay, and then you go over window, setting preferences, click on here, go over settings, and make sure these settings are applied. So linear centimeters, angular degree, blah blah blah, and this thing which I'm not sure what's the purpose of this, but as I recall, this is one thing that I've learned from this dude who originally posted this tutorial. Okay, he didn't post this particular tutorial, he just explained how to create a grill mesh, and therefore this is where I learned how to create this grill mesh, and I'm delivering this to you so you can complete this this model. Okay, so let's start. First thing, after we've done all of these settings, by the way, you must make sure you have this cube here. If you don't see this cube, go over Windows, Setting Preferences, and go Edit, Restore Default Settings. Okay, you can go over the View Cube and try to turn this on and off. But if it still doesn't work, just go over Edit, Restore Default Settings. This will surely give you the cube here, but then go back to the settings and make sure that they look like this, and then also double check yourself and go over the grid and make sure that the grid is with the same values. Okay, so for now, from now we can continue and start this tutorial. What you do, you go over shading as always, smooth wireframe to smooth the wireframes. You go over create Polygon primitive and make sure the interactive creation is unchecked. Okay, so if it has a V sign on it, just like in this case here, so you click on it and it will turn off. This will allow you to come to the Polygon tab and just drop off any of those shapes into your grid instantly. And okay, so let's begin. First of all, through the cube, you change to top view. Okay, zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better the both sides of this grid. You go over this magnet here, which is the snap to grid option. Okay, the hotkey for this is X on your keyboard, the letter X. But if you don't see this menu, all these magnets, this is because maybe this menu is collapsed. So expand it, try to find out where is it and expand it, and click on this feature. It will turn into square, and then go over create, see the curve tool, and start from here. You see this thick grid line? You start from the start point here of the grid, from the left side. Click once, it should be snapped there. Click twice, 3, and at least 4 times. Okay, we need at least 4 dots in order to create a line. So after this, make sure the last point is right at the end of this grid here, and tap enter. Okay, now what you do, we will open the attribute editor here by clicking this, and you can see while this CV curve is selected, we have only 1 span, and we want to change this to 100 spans. Okay, so what you do, you go over surfaces, go over edit curve, rebuild curve, click this option box, and here we will reset the settings. Okay, we go over 0 to spans, click on it. Here type in 100 and make sure your degree is linear and that keep original is unchecked. Click apply and close. Okay, for now. Now you will see these. If you right click and choose control vertices on this selected curve, you will see you have dots, 100 dots or 102 dots. So these are each for one grid line we have here. You see, like that. And this is how it should be. So what you do, you zoom in to the left side here, grab the lasso tool, which is this icon here, and you start draw line from here between those two first. So click, hold, and start draw slalom maneuvers between the dots like that. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit tricky for you, but you can do this with few steps. So if you wanna do it in few steps, you come here to this maneuver. Okay, when you go down and then back up and release, this will select all of those. You hold down the shift just for a second, start to draw and release the shift and continue from here. Okay, you don't have always to hold the shift button, so just for the first click on your mouse. And yeah, here I can release, and you see it continues. Now again shift, and let's maybe more space and click and start. Okay, doing this. Yeah, we have a background music which I'm not sure which is really good. I hope that YouTube system won't hear it, because this is a very huge problem if it will. Okay, go like that, and like that. Okay, so if you got into this one, the first, the one before the last one is marked, it's probably everything is okay, but let's just double check ourselves. I want you to switch to move tool, zoom in, and bring this all up, up like that to the first grid line, and look at this from this far. Okay, so you can see everything, and you see we have one dot in between, two always up above. Okay, like that. Then press F8 once or twice to bring it back to object mode. Go over edit curve again, rebuild curve again, click on this option box, and the next thing is basically what you do, you just change from linear here at the degree feature to 3 cubic and click apply. This is all. Okay, this will make your this curve to look a little bit more like wave, and it will be smoothed on those corners, okay, sharp corners. So let's switch back to top view, perspective view, and you can see somehow our yeah, I started to draw from the top instead of the side view. So I will have to make sure that I'm rotating this. So I will hold down the J and rotate this that way, so it will face 90 degree up. Okay, so this is it, like that it should be, and you can see that it's above, exactly above the grid. Okay, don't worry about this, this is how it should be. What I want you to do is change to move tool, and while this option of the snap to grid is still turned on, I want you to move this all the way to this side of the grid. Okay, so it will be the first one. Then control D to duplicate this and move the second copy like that. So you have one grid line in between those two, and then shift D. This will copy the same path, same distance between them, see, like here, and also create a copy. So shift D again and again and again and again until you get to the end of this. Okay, so here you need to be just a little bit more, gives a little bit more attention. We're creating this one, and that's fine. Okay, now the next thing is to come back over here, grab this one, and Control D to duplicate this. Immediately go to Modify Center Pivot and move this one in between those two. And now I want you to hold on, switch to Rotate tool. Okay, hold down the J key. So J key is helping you to rotate in snaps. So we just rotate it 180 degrees like that. So right now the second one, the first one is the tail or the head of this first one is pointing down, while the second one is pointing up. Okay, so they are opposite to each other. And then Control D to duplicate this one, switch to move tool, bring the second copy in between those, and then Shift D. Okay, it doesn't work for some reason. Shift D to copy this along at the same path, just like we did earlier. Okay, like that. Okay, and now when you finished, I want you to create just another one. Okay, we need a one spare here. Okay, and it will help us later on. And in this right now I want you to save this. Okay, so go over File, Save Scene As, and just call it some curve grid. Okay, and save this, just so we will be safe with this one. And what I want you to do, you want to grab all of them, but first open the outliner here and look at the outliner. Now in the outliner we have all the curves, okay, here, and as you can see right now none of them are in any group or so what you want to do, you want to come over General tab and click on this icon here which will group them. You can also do this by Control G to group them, and it will group them into this group here. Then I want you to copy this, Control D, and rotate this in that direction while you snap. Hold the J key and snapping it and just rotating it 90 degrees. So now we have this net on top of this net, like that. Okay. Now also we have another spare one right now, and this is what we need to have. Okay. So from here, what you want to do, you want to rotate your camera like that. So you have this spare above, this spare to the right. Okay. And you want to grab the move tool while this group is selected, which is basically we copy it, so we have now two groups. I want you to zoom in and you see this green lines, the green curves. I want you to move them just to the left like that. So we're pushing the spare one inside the grid, the spare one into the grid, and then it's picking out from the left side here, okay? And then you will have a net that looks similar to what we have here, which the top of these curves that goes like that and the lower curves that goes like that is not meeting each other. Okay, before they were meeting each other. Right now they have space in between them. Okay, so this is pretty much the result that I'm asking for. So the difference between this tutorial and the other Grille mesh tutorial is just about, for the first part is just the grid coverage, which right now it's very big and can make your scene a little bit heavy later on this process. What I want you to do is grab these two groups from the outliner, just like that. You can open the outliner from here, okay, click on this icon, and then you go over this General tab, and you have this feature next to the group. You have the Ungroup feature, so you click on it and it will ungroup all these two groups, and you will see only curves. Now I want you instantly go and immediately go and group them. Okay, so now they are only one group, and I want you to come and grab these two spare ones, okay, and just delete them like that. So now we have a grid of curves exactly on top of our grid, which is the same scale, same amount of grid units. So basically it matched to what's going on the grid. And from here I want you to save this. Okay, so you will always have this thing ready, and make sure you at the next saves you don't run on top of this, so you will always have something to start off, so you won't do this all over again. It's kind of bummer to do this. So you have this all selected, this group, and right now what you want to do is go over animation, choose create deformer. Sorry, you want to go to surfaces, go over edit curves, and with them selected, click on the attach curves, and with the default settings it will take a little bit time, but pay attention that right now there will be a new group here. So without this group here, just wait for a second, and it can take time. As I told you, it's a very huge amount of curves, so it's not like the other tutorial. Come on. I guess I have time to light a cigarette. So. Okay, so it's done, and now you see this new group, this curve to attach curve one. Okay, so what you want to do, you want to come to this group and just delete it. So you have the new group here, and you can come and choose modify, center the pivot for it, and that's all good. And right now you can choose to save this also. Okay, now look at my grid of curves. Everything looks fine here. I want you to examine yourself and your curve map and make sure that nothing looks wrong, or some issues, because sometimes issues can come and you can see some curves just going their way instead of looking stable as here. So with this, what you want to do, you want to come here, click on this channel box, add them to a new layer, and for now hide this layer. Now we will create a polygon cube, so I will click on the cube and drop in a cube like that. Press 5 to see a shader on it, and I'm gonna scale this, and as you recall we said 7 on 4. I'm not sure what's your size, but you will have to examine your size and just be sure what you're doing. So we said 4, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the size of this microphone head, and 7. So I will switch to the side view just to see it and stretch it. So right now we have 4 grid units, 6, and just right click, choose vertices, grab those and stretch them to 7 and bite like that. Okay, so this is pretty much the size of our microphone there. We need to match this. So 4 on top of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and bit. So with this in mind, right click, choose edge, grab this edge, control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. Again, you right click, choose the edge, and then you want to split it. So what you do, you hold down the control, right click at the same time, you will see this menu. You choose edge ring utilities, and then you will see from this menu you choose to edge ring and split. This will split this edge in a loop, okay, through all this shape. Then press F8, and you want to come over the polygon tab here, menu, go over edit mesh, offset edge loop tool, and choose just choose this one, okay, because this is the 4 thickness of our the 4 units thickness. So I want to click and hold on, click this edge and create 2 extra edge loops like that, and then this will help us when we want to smooth preview this shape. This will help to maintain the shape. So hold on the shift, right click, insert edge loop. I'm gonna add 1 edge loop exactly here, okay, very lower at this part. And right now we will add another one right here, about here, okay. And then press F8 to bring it back to object mode, F8, sorry, and press 3 to smooth preview it. So you get something that is pretty much the same as your microphone shape, okay. What you want to do from here is right click, choose face, grab all of these faces and delete them. So you see you have something like that. Now press F8, and from here what you want to do is go over mesh and smooth this. While it's in smooth preview, you want to smooth it, okay? And then just for now let it stay like that. We will have to do a lot more in order to make sure this is going right. So what I want you to do from here is right click, choose edge, and you see this first edge we did lower. I want you to shift right, first double click on it, shift right click and delete this edge, okay, we don't need it anymore. Now from here what you do, you go over and mesh smooth preview this one more time like that. So you see we have enough coverage of faces like that. While they are not really, all of them are at the same size, but in some particular sides of this shape most of them look the same. So or here or top here they look more crowded and tinier. And this is very, very important for the next next step of what we are going to do. We are going to rely on this shape and basically cover it with our grid of curves. So in order to do this the right way, we need to make sure we have the same space in between all of those faces here on top of this shape. So it's acting like a texture. When you want to make sure that the texture is not stretched in some areas, you want to make sure that it looks good. You need to make sure that there is an even space in between faces, that they are like the size of them are in your all on top of your model is look the same for all of them. So first of all, let's just start and do this. Let's duplicate this, Control D. Okay, so we have a duplicated item right now, and I'm gonna bring this up, this item. I'm gonna bring this here, okay, and I'm gonna deal with this one. So for this one, if I will switch, you need to switch to Scale tool, and I can just start and do this, right? But no values is changing here. Basically, I'm squeezing this shape along the y-axis. So what I want you to do is to scale it with the y-axis to 0, okay, and tap Enter. So this will flat this like that right now, okay. And here comes a very huge problem, because this thing you will have to, you know, master by yourself. It's going to be a little bit tricky, a little bit hard to do this, but I'm going to show you how I'm doing this, and hopefully you will manage to do this. If you don't manage to do this, try and do this with other method, and I will tell you what the method is, but still yet, for now, what I'm gonna start showing you what to do. So we have this shape and we have this shape, but this shape here should be a little bit more bigger, but not bigger as like this here. We're just trying to maintain the same distance in between the faces. So we don't need to scale it like so, okay? We need to open this, and we have very crowded edges here in this area. So I'm gonna zoom in very much in like that. In order to zoom into this distance and still see this, you know, see this shape without it disappearing or acting like transparent object, what you need to do is first go and set your cameras. So you click on this camera icon here, camera attributes, sorry, okay, and you will see the attributes of your camera. You can come here and switch between those. Sorry, wait. Okay, sorry, I had some interruptions here. So what you do, you come over to this camera settings, okay, click on it until you see it like that. I'm not sure what's happened before, and I want you to change the near clip here. In your case it will be 0.100 if I'm not wrong, but I want you to change it to a value like that, okay? So this will allow you to zoom in very much to the objects without them disappear, okay? So they won't turn into transparent or something like that. With this, you zoom in, and basically you come here and you see this line here where it goes, okay? We need to understand what's going on with this shape. As you see, it's overlapping here, right? You see this black area, dark area here. That tells us that these faces are basically overlapping each other, and what you need to do is first find the start of this shape. So I think that this is right now here, this edge. So I'm double clicking on it, okay, so it will loop selected, and I'm switching to Scale tool. So I see the Scale tool here in the middle, and I'm stretching the middle cube, this yellow cube, out. So right now you see these faces, they are not turning into black or something. There is no distortion, no overlapping. That tells me that I was correct, okay? This is actually the outer edge of all this shape, and this is okay. So from here, just keep scale this to something like that, okay? Just so we have something to work with. Then you zoom in back, and you click on these edges, okay? At least one of them. this one, and you zoom in and looking at this, okay, like that. So you see it meeting somewhere here, and this is the near clip problem, so I will try to avoid this. And you see this edge is following all of those and go directly to this one here, but it doesn't have to be this one, it could be someone that's hiding inside. So we will start off with this one, double click on this edge to select it, loop select it, and then switch to the scale tool, okay, and expand it. So you see there is still no distortion in these faces. That means that everything is okay. Now I will undo that and just for a second check, take another edge just to mistake here, so you will see what I am talking about. I'm stretching this, and this is what happened. You see all those dark areas are just telling me that this is not the right edge that comes after this one in this hierarchy, okay, or this order. So I will undo that and just go back and use this method, choose this one. I know that this edge, brown edge, follows to here, double click on it and expand it to about like so. 1 second. Okay, so I bugged, sorry, there is a little bit noise here. So this one is the second one, and right now we will do the same. We will choose first this edge and zoom in to see where it ends. Okay, it ends somewhere here, which means this edge, double click on it, zoom out, grab this middle scale tool and stretch it, and you see it pretty much works like that. It's very easy, just try to practice this. So now here we have a problem. You see the edge is ending here, so probably what's going on here is this one is the edge. So I will try to scale this and see if it is. Yeah, it is. It works. You can come and grab this one. You see it's this edge, so double click on it and scale it. Now we are just trying to separate them and try to organize this shape for now. Now this one is you can see it, you don't need to grab this edge, and basically that's pretty much it. Okay, so right now we need to maintain this edge. Okay, this edge is basically somewhat like the diameter of this microphone shape. Okay, it's like this is where it's like the edge of this shape. So we don't want to touch it, but we do want to touch this one. So let's expand this one. Now we want to maybe grab this also. You know what? Grab this one, and we want to make sure we're maintaining the same distance in between. So you see what's going on here? We have those, and this is very huge face. These are a little bit tinier, but we want something close to this. So what we will do, we will just basically start and dial those to be at the exact kind of size, okay, by just stretching them and making them to be like, somewhat the same size all along this shape. So we have this one, maybe I will make it a little turnier like that, and this is the main thing, and the main thing that's important right now in this whole process. You need to make sure that your shape is somewhat has the same size of distance in between edges, and faces are basically in most of the shape is look a little bit the same size. Okay, I know it's not similar, I know that it's not equal, but in some way I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Okay, after you've done this, 1 second, I will back at you, right? Okay, sorry, I had to make a little conversation here. So after we've done this, press F8, and you see there is no distortion, no overlapping, everything looks fine, except this row of faces here, which I'm not really satisfied about this edge, I mean. So I maybe come and dial this a little bit more, like that. More like that. Maybe open. Maybe let's choose double click all of those edges and do this at once. Just make them a little bit bigger, like that, and grab this edge. Accordingly, try to fit it. Okay, so I really hope that this will work. We will see about this. By the way, it's right now not smooth preview. Okay, you can smooth preview it, but don't do this. What I want you to do from here is basically come here, and you see this shape. I want you to unsmooth it. So it's smooth, but it's unsmooth preview. Okay, so press 1 to unsmooth preview this, and bring this down a little bit like so. Now we want to adjust the pivot for this. So press Home for Mac users, or Insert button for Windows users, Home button to Mac users. So when you are on Move Tool and click on one of them, it will switch to the pivot adjustment tool. So you see it looks like that, and what you do, you click on the magnet, snap to grid, and you just try and snap this. First snap this like that, turn this off, it will be here. Okay, now hold down the V key and grab this. You see it's turning into circle here. You grab this with your middle mouse button and drag it to this point vertex here. So now it's attached to this vertex point which we have here. Press Home or Insert, depends on your operating system, to snap out of this, and then go over Modify, Center, press Home to turn this adjustment tool again, and with the magnet just try and drag this to the middle of center of your grid. So basically it's here in the middle, here, like that. Okay, now if you want to make sure, just snap to the top view, and you see the pivot is here. Don't pay attention for this one, only for this one here, which is the circle. You can turn this off and just tap on the V to see that this one is the middle one, this is the actual one. So it's on straight on the middle of our grid, like that. I want you to turn this off and back to perspective mode. Look at this, press Home to switch out and bring it back to Move Tool, okay, or Insert, depends on your operating system, and turn this on and snap this down to the grid, like that. Okay, so we have this on the grid line. If I will switch to side view, you can see that it sits perfectly on this thick line here. Now we need the same for this shape, so grab it and just snap it so they are both starting from the same point, okay, from this grid point. Now with this selected, you see it looks like this. Everything is pretty much good, almost good. Okay, you grab both of them, go over Edit, Delete by Type, History, and in this time right now I want you to save this. Okay, I'm gonna save it in other name. I'm not sure even what. Yeah, I call it Curved Grid, but this time I will call it Blend Shapes, so I can remember what I'm doing. Okay, and if something goes wrong, I can always come and undo whatever I did. So I have these two. Again, Edit, Delete by Type, History, go over Modify, and Freeze Transformation for them. Now this will allow you to come over the animation like that and go over Create Deformers and choose the Blend Shape options. Okay, now you first want to choose this, Shift select this, and then come here and choose the Blend Shape. If you got this result, then everything is okay and it's still flat, but you basically just the upper part was disappearing. So now if you come over the channel box here, click on it once or twice, you have this input, which means Blend Shape 1 option. You click on it, and from the polycube you click on this, and with your middle mouse button you click on the work area. You will see these two arrows, drag to the right, and it will should if you drag it to the right, it should turn into this. Okay, this is what blend shapes are. So you can play with it, or you can simply come here and type in 1 or 0. Okay, so right now, just after we check this, bring it back to 0, and then we come and turn our layer grid on, okay, these curves, and from the outliner I want you to choose them. So this is the group, and this is how your outliner should look by now, okay? No groups, only this group, which is not a group, it's just a one piece of curve, and polycube. This is all you have to have except those cameras and those two nodes here. Now you choose this, go over modify center pivot for it, switch to side view, and you see right now I'm going to turn on this magnet, and you see this thick line, which is the grid, grid level. I want you to just basically drop it down, so this grid level will be exactly in the middle, in between those curves. Okay, you see, like that. So we have these waves, and we have these waves, and this grid line is going in between them. So basically, also our plane here, this shape, is going exactly in the middle. Sorry. My neighbors are assholes. Okay, so when this is inside, you see, just like those wires, those screws are going through this plane, I want you to grab the plane and just scale it to something about so. Okay, now you come to the outliner, first grab these, shift select the polyplane, okay, the cube, and go first and save this. So we will call this how we call this, let's see, rup. Okay, save scene as rupping, rup, save as, and now we can do this. So let's do this. Let's choose rup with the default settings and wait for a second. It can take time. Now you will have an extra node, this hiding node, you see, and it's basically the same thing but just a little bit different. I want you to grab the cube, okay, shape, and switch to the same input blend shape 1 and press here 1, and this will basically create this shape of our of this polycube, make it look like this microphone, and we'll stretch our curves grid on top of it. So you see, it's not really even, it doesn't look good in all of them, and this is very much depend on how you will do this this thing that we do earlier. So I will just try and explain this. I will try to undo whatever I did, okay, before the rup, like that, okay, so this node will disappear, okay. Now I will get back to this one, and this is pretty much what I mean when I'm saying that you need to know what you do when you scale those, okay. This will basically determine how those grid lines will look, and basically make it look a little bit better than what it is right now. So you need to stretch them in the right way, the correct way, and make sure that everything goes as it should. See, I'm right now expanding them a little bit more, but trying to make sure that all of them are pretty much even. And I know that it's not going to be a very perfect thing, but it's getting close to it, so it's better. So like that, press F8, maybe this one a little bit lower, like that, press F8, and we can try and do this all over again. Grab those two, wrap them, and when it wrapped, we can come over this polycube shape and the plane shape and switch this to 1, and now right now we have a little bit more coverage, just a little bit more, okay, not much, and this is basically fine. and you can come and sculpt this using the sculpt tool, but I ain't gonna do this because this will just ruin the shape. It's not like the sphere shape, it's a little bit you know, acting differently, so you don't want to mess with this. But the basic idea, sorry. Okay, so what you do, you grab this and grab this net here, Control D to duplicate this, and move it to the side here. You grab these two and add them to the layer, add selected object to the layer, so right click on the layer, add selected object, and this one, sorry, you grab this one first, right click, remove selected object from this group, from this layer, and these we can work with. So just bring them to the center like that. Then you go over rendering option, choose the paint effect menu, curve utilities, attach brush to curve. Just like that. So right now it's very heavy, very heavy, starting to lag. So I will try to do this fast and close this tutorial part. So let's unselect them, and you see this is how the Grille looks right now. And the density of those holes, it's not you know it's not perfect, but from angle like that should look fine. And you can also come and grab these, and you see they're all turning into green while you select them. This is because we attached all the curves at the beginning of this process. So right now all this brush is acting like one unit, and you can choose this. Okay, come over the attribute editor, go over this sample density, maybe keep it on 1, you know what, and go over brush profile, and choose the brush width, switch it to something like 70, okay, 0.770. So this will be a little bit more density, will give a little bit more density kind of effect to our Grille, maybe 80, I don't know. Let's just try this. You don't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be a very big holes in between those grids, so that's fine. And last thing, you go over twist and make sure the forward twist is checked. And now we're gonna save this. Okay, file, save scene as, click here, type in something like Grille Studio Mic and save. Okay, go over edit, delete by type and history for this shape, just so we can, no, right now it doesn't affect anything, but we need to right now convert this paint effect to polygon mesh. So how you do this, you go over modify, convert paint effect to polygon, click this option box, and here you make sure the quad output is checked, just everything like that, and here you type in 1 million. Okay, so this 1 million value will make sure that when it's converting this paint effect to polymesh, it will preserve the same shape, because sometimes when you give a lower poly limit, it can make halfway of the job. Okay, so we want the whole you know, Grille to appear as mesh. We don't want a part of it. So we just typing in a higher value for the limits of this, and just click convert, and you should wait a little bit, and now you will have this group showed like this. You see this red arrow on top of this white layer. So what you do, you simply bring this up like that. This is this new group. You grab this group and simply delete it. Grab this one. The first thing to do is go over edit, delete by type, history. So now it will be a little bit easier for you to maneuver with this. Turn off this snap to grid, we don't need this, and let's click out of it, and maybe let's give this just a simple color. So right click, assign Lambert, just so we can see this better. Okay, so you see, it looks fine, and it could be that you will have this kind of awkward things here. You see, it's something about the twist of these aren't really good in this area, and this is pretty much happening a lot when we creating this kind of crowded curves together. The paint effect is making a little bit, you know, twisting to these wires, and therefore your polymesh can look like this. You can try and smooth preview it. It will take a lot of time to smooth preview it, so I ain't gonna do this right now. But if it is bother you, what I suggest you to do is go back a few steps before you apply this, you know, when you apply this brush paint effect, when you went to this feature, this paint effect, curve utilities, and attach the brush to the curve, make sure that you play with the settings of this, you know, of this brush twisted kind of feature, and try to resolve this. Sorry. In most cases it can help and fix this issue. But let's continue. What I want to do right now is just get rid of half of this, part of this shape, the down part here. So you go over Polygon, choose this Edit Mesh, and cut Face tool, and click this option box. I want you to make sure that you set your options like that, interactive, and delete cut faces is checked. Now what you do, you click enter cut tool and close. You will see this message, select polygon face. So we're selecting this by left clicking on it, okay, and then left click once again and hold. Okay, now we are holding this, and I'm rotating my this tool, this cut tool, and you see here we have this thing that the arrows, my mouse cursor is on top of it. I need this to be 180 degrees like that, and the other line that you see here that attached to this you know, dots line or whatever, I want it to point straight down. So when I release my mouse, this will actually erase everything that follow this point curve. You see this points of line, I don't know. So I will release. Sorry, it will take time, and basically it just delete everything that goes on the same way. Now I didn't do it correctly, so I will undo that. Sorry. We'll switch to the side view. This way it's better to work with this cut face tool, and do this again, cut face tool, and I will start to cut it from here. Okay, so click on it, click and hold. Okay, something is wrong. Now it just lags, and it's gonna do, I will have to undo whatever I did. It's going to delete this part here. Okay, I'm doing this, and let's do this again. Okay, like that. So now you see this dots line is pointing down, and this one is 180 degrees like that, and you can release, and it will get rid of this part of this grill. Okay. Okay, so now it's fine. You can get back to this, and what I want you to do from here, oh, this is very, very weird. I didn't expect this. Okay, I will have to do this once again. I basically did something wrong. Okay, great. Now I think that everything is fine. Yeah, so let's switch out of this cut face tool because it can cut things that you don't want. And with this, what you do, you first save this. First saves this as Grille Mesh Studio, I don't know, something like that. Save as. It will calculate. This is very heavy one. You grab this, go over Edit, Copy, and File, Open Scene. Now I'm going to open the same scene on this microphone 5, and when it's like that, I'm going to grab these two pieces, okay, and move them here to the side, and then go over Edit and Past. Right now the grill is inside, should be inside this microphone, so I'm gonna move it out from there, or basically it's bigger. So let's grab this one and just scale this that way. Now I'm scaling it using this cube, and I know that it will sure fit this this area here. You see, somewhat the same. We just need to bring this down a little bit, and maybe I recommend you to stretch it. It's gonna slow down everything here. Yeah, I know it will. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for a second. I'm gonna undo that, but it's not really matter. What you can do is basically come and just put this down here where it should be, you know. Don't mess with it too much. Just bring this a little bit inside this base, and you can still come and right click, choose vertices of this frame frame here, grab all of them at the top area, bring them down, and for those here we're gonna scale them, squeeze them like that, so this will fit, okay, just like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it wasn't that hard for you to follow. I know it can be a little bit complicated, but the overall is pretty much you know, understood, I think, and you can do this by yourself. It's not really a huge task to do, and it's very good practice also. You can also maybe grab those and squeeze them just like so. Also, you can smooth preview this, but it will take time. So first save this file and then do this smooth preview kind of thing, and add this chrome material to this grill. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this part of the tutorial. Thanks again for Maxim Kadashov, who was you know, originally created the grill mesh tutorial and showed me how to make this thing. Okay, basically I was following his 2 tutorials that demonstrate how to make this, and then I had to come and see how it goes for the studio microphone, which it was a little bit tricky for the first test that I've done, but I figured out that there are 2 ways to do this. This is the one way, and the other way is basically to do this only with half cut of your model. Okay, so you can do this by creating this net only from 1/2 cut of this you know, speaker, this microphone, sorry, and basically it goes almost the same. You just need to grab this half cut you have, flip it that way, okay, and as we've done there, just squeeze this by scaling it on the Y like that, and do the same, you know. I'm just demonstrate the idea, you know, the basic idea to how it's done. But in this case you have a very crowded, you will have very crowded also edges here. Right now we don't have much, you know, edges on top of this, but when you smooth this, it probably add more edges, and you will have to spread them and basically do this like, you know, half cut, and then the coverage of this curves can be a little bit more better. Okay, so it really depends on you if you want to do this that way or the way I showed you. I just suggest you to practice both of them and see what benefits you can get from these 2 methods. So this is pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Hope it was you know, a good tutorial and it was easy for you, and see you soon with new tutorials. So bye for now and have a nice day. Bye.